Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Cherise Gibson. Continuing coverage tonight, New Orleans 911 director isn't going anywhere, at least for now. The mayor says he likely will not be suspended while he's being investigated. Hours after Tyrell Morris announced his resignation, WWL-TV uncovered allegations he altered public documents. An investigation is now underway, and yesterday, council members J.P. Morrell and Helena Moreno called for Morris's immediate suspension. But at a press conference today, the board chair of OPCD and Mayor Cantrell both said that Morris will continue in his role. At almost every question, Cantrell had a similar response.
As you move through those investigations, we will deal with that accordingly. Until then, Director Morris has tendered his resignation, deemed September 15th, and he will continue to serve in that capacity. Critical member, public safety team, City of New Orleans, which public safety is our top priority.
Well, Morris was not at today's press conference despite many other public safety officials being present, and we continue to ask OPCD to interview Morris. Meanwhile, eyewitness investigator David Hammer first broke the story about Morris changing public records after the accident. He also attended today's news conference and pressed Mayor Cantrell for answers. He's joining us now in studio with more from his investigation.
Yeah, that's right, Cherise, and it got testy at that press conference. But after that press conference, I spoke to a Loyola law professor about our investigation. He said our well-documented findings exposed egregious violations by Morris. And he said he can't understand why Morris is not being removed immediately.
If there ever was a clear case of a public official abusing their authority, this is that case.
Loyola law professor Blaine Wassen reviewed what we exposed this week. There's the video of 911 director Tyrell Morris sitting at a red light in the middle lane in his taxpayer-funded vehicle at 10:40 at night with a car waiting in the right lane. The light turns green and Morris veers right into the other car. There's Morris's accident report, filed as a part of an insurance claim, depicting the other car coming up behind him and swerving around him to the right and hitting him.
That is a public record that contains a false material misrepresentation.
And we showed the proof in the document metadata that Morris himself changed a 2019 policy 4 days after the crash happened this May to make it look like he didn't need to submit to an alcohol and drug test.
Well, it's not the violation itself, it's the attempt to cover it up that is the bigger offense and one that has criminal implications.
But at a news conference today, Mayor LaToya Cantrell was steadfast that Morris should not be suspended while under investigation. Given that the law that's cited by the members of the City Council has to do with a crime, do you think that it's wise to keep him on and not suspend him? Would you do that with another employee who was alleged to have committed a crime?
Well, what I will say is that these are allegations, and that is why an investigation is warranted. An investigation will take place, and we will deal with that at that time. But allegations are allegations, and I'm very clear that they're not always accurate.
In spite of the video and the documents and everything?
Again, those are allegations. I've not looked at them.
Cantrell said the issue is really one for the Communications District Board. The chair is her Director of Homeland Security, John Thomas. What is their response to, because you said that's not in your decision-making because it's at the board. So I'd like to ask him the question about...
What's the question?
About the decision regarding the letter received from the City Council and their request for a suspension.
Sure.
From the board, please.
Sure. He'll echo exactly what I've just indicated.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. I asked Thomas why he and the board are not suspending Morris, and he just said they would cooperate with the Inspector General's investigation, and that's all he said, Cherise.
All right, David, thank you so much. If you